legacy maker, the All Sports
The
Network.
place is here and the time is now. Let's take it round for round. And people gather round. Let's see who can win the crown. All the marbles involved. Football, baseball, or golf. Who's dominating the hoops? Who's talking false or the truth? Yeah, come and show me your war face. I'll show you my war face. No holds barred, so for your sake, you better show up in good shape. Valuable information is key to your domination. So focus on preparation. Online is your reputation. Yeah, it's one-on-one. You and me, ain't no fear in me. You will see. When it comes to this, you be wearing the number 23. In debate, I hold my weight, cause these sports I'm attached to it. Your legacy, get ready, cause I'm gonna set a match to it. Hey. Burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for this one. Look, hey, we got a good one on our hands today. I'm excited to have everybody here as we bring you Legacy on Fire, episode 60. And look, we got our esteemed panel today, and we're glad to have everybody here for episode 60. We got some fun topics to talk about. First, I'll start off with my co-host at the bottom here. He is co-host, obviously, of Legacy on Fire, and a little bit of everything. The NFL draft expert. I can go on and on. Mr. James Brown, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. Back for another week, episode 60. Got Joey here. Got Russ with us today. Ready to get into it, man.
All right, yeah. Speaking of Russ has been with us the last couple of weeks. The stat man himself, the UFC expert, the graphics guru, my man, Mr. Steph. We call him Steph Curry. Stat man, Russ Taliaferro. How you doing, stat man? Look, hey, Steph Curry. Why not though?
He does stuff for stats.
I can't even shoot that good in 2K, so, but I'm all right.
and joining us this week.
I think they nerfed it.
And joining us this week, Virginia Tech. The Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs. I could go on and on. I mean, we talking about the Salem Red Sox. Man does everything. He's killing it down there in southwestern VA. There it is. Our man Joey Raymond. How you doing, Joey?
Dude, I'm doing great. I'm really glad to be back. This show is always fun. It's gonna be a good one.
We're glad to have you back, even under the circumstances, sir. We know you're going through a rough time right now, but we're here for you, brother. We are here for you.
I'm casted up, but I'm ready to go,
Well, look, man, we're praying for your speedy recovery. Let's go ahead and get it started. We're going to start it off with one sentence. Right, so our one sentence, we've had a couple of all-star weekends happen over the last couple of weeks, and I'll tell you, one of these all-star weekends came under a lot of fire here in the last couple of days. It's boring. It's not this. It's not that. So I really wanted to hear the one sentence from you fellas on where you thought this one is kind of going. So I'm gonna start off. Joe, I'm gonna start off with you first. Joey, one sentence. What's the better all-star weekend, NHL or the NBA?
Well, first and foremost, it wasn't included, but you got to say the MLB All-Star Weekend. But if I had to pick one of the two, it's going to be the NHL because those skills competition segments was amazing. And anybody who says otherwise clearly didn't watch it because it was intense from start to finish, especially the one-on-one drill. That thing was nuts. It was essentially a shootout for an hour, which, is my favorite part of hockey to begin with. Nothing against the NBA. I did really love the 3-point shooting competition. But I mean, as far as the NBA All-Star game goes, they don't even play really. They hang out. Occasionally a basket hits the net. Like it's just, to me, it's lazy. And so the NHL by far and large, in my opinion, is much better strictly just because of the fact that they don't play an all-star game in the NBA anymore. Like, I mean, they do, but they don't. Like, they don't play. There's no defense. Like, it's awful.
So I think Joey's one sentence is no defense, no all-stars. We go to James. James, we head to you. What's your one sentence on who's better, the NBA All-Star weekend or the NHL All-Star weekend?
All right, I'm gonna have a little different spin to it because my one sentence is didn't bother to watch. I mean, I didn't watch either one. I honestly could care less at this point. All-Star weekends are just a thing of the past. Like what we grew up on, I don't think we'll ever get it back. The competition's not there. I could just care less at this point. I don't think it's worth anything anymore. It's honestly just a point for everybody to just kind of get together, take a little vacay in the middle of the season.
Right.
And they try to put something on TV, but I mean, it's garbage.
It's rough. It's rough. Russ, we had to
It's
use
trash.
your one sentence. What's the better All-Star weekend?
To be honest, before this year in the skills competition, I would have said the skills, I would have taken NBA, but the actual game, I would take the NHL. And now with the NHL now fully being supportive and going and saying that they're going to include their players in the Olympics in 2026, it's not even a competition. I think it was Kobe Bryant even said before he passed away that the All-Star game NBA just needs a completely different revamp. It's worthless. It's a time waster. I'd rather play Left 4 Dead than do that. It's just a waste of time. They're not even trying. Once you score like 200 points in a game, like what are we even doing here, dude?
Oh, it was 211 to 186. I mean, yeah.
Stupid as all hell.
There's no point in playing at that point. Like,
right. Even Adam Silver didn't even look enthusiastic. You guys scored 211 points.
They need to take a look at what the NHL is doing, because the way they split it up with the divisions and had like the 3-man teams and everything that they have split up, or even just like you could partner with the Big Three and do like a mini Big Three tournament during the weekend and have it like, since they take up 2 nights, add an extra night and just do a 3-night tournament like the Big Three and just do 3-man teams, because the players don't want to play that much anyway. They're just happy to play, have a weekend off anyway. The games don't mean nothing. Get the players who actually want to play competitive. I don't care if they're LeBron James, Anthony Davis, James Harden, whoever. Anybody who actually wants to play a game and put on entertainment and not just run up and down the court like it's just the night off. Don't waste my time.
They might be there just to watch Shaq's All-Star Weekend comedy special, because that's usually what happens, I think.
That's not even good anymore either.
I don't know if it even still goes on, but I know that's something they used to do back then. It's just to me, I mean, NHL, I love the competition where they have the the teams going at each other. I think that is the smartest thing, and it keeps it interesting. I mean, and hockey's better in person anyway. Especially if you want to go to a game and watch a game, you want intensity, hockey's the way to go. Now, watching on TV during the regular season, maybe not so much for myself. Playoffs, oh yeah, all day, every day. I'll be in there.
I haven't watched hockey since Charlie Conway left the Ducks, so yeah.
I mean, I'd rather watch playoff hockey than playoff basketball, if I'm being honest.
I agree with that. It's just
hockey, in my opinion, is literally UFC on ice, and there is like nothing better to love about it. And like the NBA, you get breathed on, and it's a foul, and I'm not a fan.
Oh,
but,
my shoulder.
Lance Stevenson in LeBron's ear. I heard that's a technical nowadays. So
Yeah, they're most definitely a technical. All right, that is it for our one sentence segment, and now we're going to head over to our next one. This one's going to be a fun one. It's time for the fire starters. I think everybody's going to really like this one. Our fire starter this week. This one's going to cause a little controversy, and I saw this on a post, and I thought it was very interesting take. They said, should Caitlin Clark skip the WNBA draft and enter the NBA draft? And I said to myself, like, wow, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to – I know it's not illegal, so it definitely could happen, but should she do it? And with that being said, I had to bring in a special guest for this segment, Mr. Rob Johnson, here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Rob, how you doing, brother?
Hello.
So, Rob, I'm going to let you go last because I know you have something that you're stewing there.
Oh, James. stat, man. Hello, Joy. Hello.
What's good, Rob?
So we're gonna let Rob go last because I know he's got some stew in there. So Russ, I'll start with you first. Should Caitlin Clark skip the WNBA draft and enter the NBA draft? We got 10 minutes on this topic.
It's a touchy subject, and I'll be honest with that. I don't think she should. I just don't think she has the body build. I think she's a little too skinny, if I'm being honest. If I had to say if any woman could have, when they came out of college, went straight to the NBA, I think Brittany Griner was the best bet in the last 10 or so years, just because of her body build. She's a little bit more stocky. I think she could have made a decent small or power forward in the league. She plays physical. She plays with attitude. She's not afraid to do some stupid things, as we've seen. But like, I don't think, I don't think Caitlin Clark just has the body built to do it. Not that she doesn't have the skill. I just think her body would be the one that fails her, not her skill.
I'm sorry. I don't know why that was so funny to me. Joey, I'm gonna head to you next. What do you think here? Caitlin Clark, she should skip the WNBA draft and into the NBA draft.
I mean, look. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm still a little salty that she beat my Hokies at the beginning of the season. But so on our show, Sportsbology, we talked in length about Caitlin Clark's just greatness in college basketball and how it is very likely by the end of the year that she holds the record in scoring for the entire NCAA, both men and women. And how just in general, she is an absolute force to be reckoned with. Now, with that being said, I think she should enter in the WNBA so that she can continue to be great, because in the NBA, I feel like she would be successful, but I feel like she would just be an average player in the NBA versus if she goes into the WNBA, she could genuinely be one of the greatest women's basketball players of all time. Just because, I mean, she plays a very physical brand of basketball. She can score from freaking anywhere. I mean, shoot, the shot that, got her the record for, most points scored in women's basketball, she shot from the freaking logo. So it's just one of those things, man.
We're gonna head to James next. James, Rob's excited. We're gonna head to James next. What do you think? Your thoughts on this? Caitlin Clark, does she skip the WNBA draft and head to the NBA draft?
Man, come on now. Let's be serious about this. Hell no. No, she should not skip the WNBA draft to go to the NBA draft. Even if she did it, it'd be a nice little gimmick, nice little ploy to get everybody to watch the NBA for a hot little minute. But once she gets flamed out in summer league, it's going to be a wrap from there. Like the physicality of the men's game versus the women's game, I don't think she'd hold up to Russ's point. Is she a great talent? Yes, but there's a reason that they have the WNBA and then the NBA. We don't even know if she can compete with the men's college basketball teams. And then you think all of a sudden she's just going to skip and play with the pro men. We don't even know if she can play with the men at our own level yet. So in my opinion, no, stick to the WNBA. Or if you don't like that, go overseas. They get the bag out over there. Just go overseas.
Yeah. The only thing I could see, and before I let Rob go here, the only thing that I could see that she would even be valuable in is she's just spot up shooting, and she's gonna have to get put in those places to spot up shoot. Like she can't drive to the basket in the NBA. She's not gonna be. I mean, she probably get a lot of. She'll probably lead the league in free throw attempts. Because every time she's going to the line, she's probably getting demolished by the guys going towards the basket. That's just, hey, or the referees will be like, look, man, just go to the line. I don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll see. Rob hit me up and said, Darrell, you got to let me on.
Can you leave me on the screen so I can see the guys?
I will gladly leave you on the screen, Rob.
A quick question for everybody.
Is the popcorn ready yet?
All right, what player lost 5 games in 4 years and has 4 NCAA championships? What's her name?
Maya Moore.
Breanna Stewart.
That's why he's a stat man. Breanna Stewart. Breanna Stewart could have probably played in the league. You know why? Because she has length. Darrell, you saw her when she played WNBA in the WNBA finals.
True.
That girl can play. I mean, I know she had to carry Breanna Nescu, and Nescu was all on TV posing, acting like she was the stuff. But, she had to carry her to the WNBA finals. Caitlin Clark is 6 foot, 155 pounds. To James's point, what is she going to do? She's smaller than Allen Iverson. She has less girth than Allen Iverson. I mean, Allen Iverson is a great player. And think about what he had to do. At least he could dunk. I haven't seen Caitlin Clark get 2 feet off the floor. And it's not that, and it has nothing to do with her being a woman. Okay, it has nothing to do with that, because let's keep it real. Cheryl Swoops could have played in the NBA. She only played 2 years at Texas A&M. I've been studying. I just hit you about an hour ago. She only played 2 years at Texas A&M, and she won a championship. We are calling Caitlin Clark the greatest, but you know another player? Brittany Griner. She was 6'9". I'm Brittany Griner. She's 6'9". And it doesn't even matter, because they said that she would go against DeMarcus Cousins. Do you know what DeMarcus Cousins would do to 6'9" Brittany Griner? Come on now. I mean, God rest is Vivian Stringer, the great Rutgers coach.
I think she's still alive, if I'm not mistaken.
She's still alive, and
yes.
she went to Rutgers. By the way, shout out to Rutgers. Shout out to New Jersey.
Oh yeah, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
You were gonna have a conversation about Jersey here later, my friend, because
okay.
I love. You don't know if you know it or not. I love Jersey for reasons I can't say on the air. Anyway,
it's because you're not from New York. That's why.
Oh, I love Jersey stuff. But anyway, it doesn't matter if it's New Jersey, California. It doesn't matter where it is. She's not playing NBA. Here's the other thing, folks. What is the one thing that Caitlin Clark does not have? The people are criticizing Jay Williams talking about talking about this and that. She's not a champion, folks. She's not a champion. You got to be a champion in this world. You see, this is a championship. Undisputed, baby.
It's Purdy.
She got that. So how are we going to put her in the NBA? How do we know she has clutch gene? Angel Reese got titles. Angel Reese is at least tall enough to go play maybe and score maybe 2 points a game. No, she can't do it. Now, it's competition? Yes. And do I dislike Caitlin Clark? No. Great player, do a lot of good things. I'm sick and tired. Let me get serious for a second. I'm sick and tired of these players and the media making these women out to have to go to the NBA. Why not go to the WNBA? Why not make the brand better? Juju Watkins from USC, she could go into the WNBA draft this year as a freshman and make an impact. Go into the WNBA, help these women make more money. Virginia Tech, they've got a great player. Joey talked about it. I mean, Virginia.
2 of them.
2 great players. My fault. 2 great players. Go to the WNBA, build that brand. Why are we so worried about building the men's brand? Why can't the women just have their own thing? Why is that such a hard thing?
It's craziness.
I mean, back in 2003, we had a movie with Joanna, man. He couldn't get it done in the leagues. He had to go be with the women. Let the women have their own
Joanna, man.
I'm just keeping it real.
That's
Let
great.
the women have their own thing. Let the women do and be great, because we've had great players over the years. The Maya Moores, et cetera, et cetera. Like I said, Breanna Stewart. There are a lot of great players in the league now. So go to the WNBA, be great. Her and Angel Reese could be the next Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. You know how we use the media to prop stuff up or whatever. Do that and be great. Don't worry about the NBA, because once LeBron James leaves, the brand's going to go down anyway, like it did when Michael left for about 3 years. So go to the WNBA, use this momentum, and be great. Am I right or am I wrong, guys?
I would say you're right, sir. I mean, I don't think it's the move.
I don't disagree. And
don't disagree.
Honestly, the women's basketball right now is at an all-time high, and they need to keep riding that train if they're going to make anything of it.
Did you see Iowa tonight? Did you see Iowa early? I think they're playing Indiana. It is packed.
It's a beautiful thing to see, isn't it?
Hey, here's the other thing, guys, real quick, because I know I got a minute left. Who's the best? Can you name the best college men's player right now? Can you really honestly name the best men's college basketball player right now?
Oh, why you do that?
I really don't know. Number one keep getting knocked off. I don't know this shit.
I say this because you can name the women. A couple of weeks ago, I think it was the Miami Heat and Boston Celtics. South Carolina LSU beat them in the ratings. What's the problem?
I'm telling you.
Need to go to the NBA. Women, ladies, little girls, big girls, wherever you are, go watch the NBA. And yes, women. There's a lot of women out there who don't support the WNBA. I'm calling you out. Support your fellow women and watch the WNBA. It's not all about All-Star Weekend. This ain't 2002, and BMF ain't in the streets no more. So, that's gone. But like I said, get your butt to the WNBA and watch the women. Rob Johnson's out, baby.
Sold out crowd in Blacksburg. College game day is coming this weekend. It's going to be awesome.
Exactly.
Oh no, Joey, you're not going to be able to go. Oh my God.
Nope.
No.
Totally vibing.
Oh my God.
I'll have to watch it from my couch.
Sucks. Well, Rob, thank you for coming on. Appreciate you, brother, bringing the heat on that one. And I got to agree with Rob on this one. I mean, it just don't need to happen.
Darrell, James, Statman, Joey, legacy maker, baby.
Hey, love you, Rob. Y'all make sure y'all check out. Y'all make sure y'all check out the Gold Standard Wrestling. That's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you make sure you check that out.
Anybody wants in, let me know.
You heard that, Stat Man. Look.
I gotta close.
I gotta close. All right, then, y'all. Thank you, Rob. We appreciate it. So that was our man, Rob.
I will say to Rob's point, she is 98 points away from passing Pistol Pete.
Oh, she's gonna get that. Eyes closed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and we talked about it on our show, which should be coming out tomorrow, as well. Of like, just her stats are ridiculous. Like, and the fact that she put up 49 against Michigan and she only needed like 6 to break that record. And like, yeah, there's no way that she doesn't hit the most points for the entire NCAA, men and women. Like, there's no way she doesn't do it.
Yeah, she's got to have it easier. So, but look, great career. But I don't think the NBA, even the Detroit Pistons, I don't even think that's that's enough to sway the crowd.
I mean,
they might get some fans in the seat, though.
It's a gimmick. It'd be a great gimmick. Line her up for a few minutes, have her sink a couple corner threes or something. But once she burns enough guys on that corner three, best believe she's gonna be getting everybody's best shot. And at that point, she's gonna fall to the bottom of the rotation. She's gonna be on the bench. Next thing you know, she's on the G League team. Next thing you know, she's out of rotation there. And it's like, yeah, just go back to the WNBA where you can start at.
Exactly. All right. So that was it for the fire starters. Now we head to our last big topic. It's time for the main play. So our main flame tonight, best quarterback in the 2024 NFL draft. And so there's been a lot of names flopped around here recently. Obviously Caleb Williams is the one everybody talks about, and then you hear Drake May, and then you got Daniels mixed in there. You got Penix. You got a couple of guys that are just starting to, they rise up the rosters. This one is people are excited about the quarterback class, but we really don't know how this is going to go. And to be honest with you, just because, and this is just coming from me, just because there's a North Carolina quarterback in there, this is starting to give me 2017 vibes, and I just don't know how it's going to go. Somebody's going to make a mistake and move up, but that's just my talk. So we'll start this one with James. James, best quarterback heading into the 2024 NFL draft. Who do you have? 10 minutes on this topic.
I mean, man, it's tough because all these guys are good players. I believe they all have traits, qualities that kind of set them apart and kind of put them towards the top. And then I also think each one of them has like flaws that kind of hold them back or they'll need to overcome at the next level, along with whatever organization they end up with. And as much as I hate to say it, right now, based on where he's at, I do think Caleb Williams is the best quarterback currently slated. But again, man, with Caleb, my issue is, does he really want to play football? Is he really committed to playing football at the next level? And then also, where he lands is really going to play a big part in how successful he is at the next level, specifically if he goes to Chicago. Honestly, I feel like if any of these guys go to Chicago, it's going to be the same thing it's always been, 2-3 years, and then they're out of it. Or 2-3 years like, hey, this guy's a bust, they're trash, and they need to go somewhere else. Because Chicago itself, to me, in my opinion, just does not have enough around the quarterback position to breed success from any of these guys. And then also another player that gives a lot of intrigue, but everybody overlooks him, Michael Penix Jr. you could argue that he's the second, if not the first best quarterback in this class due to his body of work. I know he's had the 2 ACL injuries and the shoulder injury, but he's had two consecutive seasons of no injuries. And he got his team all the way to the national championship this year, playing from the pocket, being that quarterback threat all over the field that everybody argues that Caleb Williams is. He can make all the throws. He can hit all the receivers. He knows how to work the pocket. He knows how to win. All of these guys have their specific traits that elevate them and carry them to the next level. But for whatever reason, everybody's just stuck on Caleb Williams. So I don't like it, but as of right now, today, I do think Caleb's the best player. Time will tell with all these guys, but it is what it is right now.
All right, so James got Caleb Williams. Russ, we're going to head to you next. What do you feel on this? Who's the best quarterback heading into the 2024 NFL draft?
I will say I don't believe it's Caleb Williams. I'm not a big believer in Caleb Williams, and that's mostly not because of his on the field play. It's off the field mental issues as far as like someone's gotten into his head. That whole story about him wanting like a piece of ownership with the team before he even finishes college career. I thought that was absolutely bogus. And it's weird for me to say that too, because out of all these top quarterbacks, he's by far the most accurate. But I think he's by far going against the weakest competition in the Big Ten, or in the Pac-12. Sorry, he used to be in the Big Ten or the Big 12. But if he'd stayed at Oklahoma and he had the same kind of career he had before transferring to USC, I would have said Caleb Williams. But since he didn't, I honestly have more faith in Drake May. I like Drake May a little bit better, just barely over Jaden Daniels for me, just because he's a little bit more stocky, a little bit more built. I feel like his body can hold up a little bit more better than Jaden Daniels. Michael Penix Jr., the injuries scare me. I've had a torn ACL myself. I know how much that hurts. And even, especially with 2, and even with him going through a complete season with no scares or anything like that, that still scares the heck out of me.
2 of them.
Yeah, no, that scares me off, and I'm not touching him. No offense, I think he's great. I hope he does great. It's just I'm thinking like a business at that point, and I'm almost kind of getting damaged goods at that point. But like I like Drake May. I like his 2 good years in North Carolina, and it pains me to say I'd like to draft another quarterback from North Carolina, from the state of North Carolina, because the last one didn't work out and we overpaid him. But I digress. But yeah, my pick out of these guys would be Drake May, and then if I had a second, it'd be Jaden Daniels.
Rob says he's got Williams, Bo Nix, then Penix on his list for that. Now, my thing before we move to Joey, the weary part for me is North Carolina quarterbacks with Drake May, and maybe that's just a stigma because you see these Ohio State quarterbacks until this year. Somebody's got to break the mold, I guess, right? The Alabama quarterbacks go on storm, even though Jalen Hurts and Tua have had solid career, or Hurts making it into the Super Bowl, but it's like who breaks that North Carolina stigma, especially the last couple of months. So,
I'll tell you what it is. It's the ACC stigma, because most people would think that's a basketball conference and not a football conference. I think that's the stigma overall, that any skill player coming from that conference, if it's not basketball skill player, what am I wasting my time on? They're going to flame out early, but I think Drake May could be the one to break that stigma, like you said, with the Ohio State quarterbacks. But I think he's fighting a bigger stigma as far as just conference-wise instead of just school-wise.
All right, Joey, we head to you, man. Best quarterback heading into the 2024 draft. Now, we'll say this before Joey goes. Last year, in our early mock draft, Joey said, watch out for Will Levis. And Levis, even despite the mayonnaise, he did have a solid end part of the year. So Joey may have got a little something cooking. We'll see if that continues this year. Joey, it's your turn.
All right. I think Caleb Williams is highly overrated. I really do. That's my hot take. I know a lot of people like him. Personally, I think too many off the field issues, and I think he's an above average quarterback, but that's it. He's nothing more than that. To me, my quarterback that I think that everybody's kind of sleeping on, and a lot of it is for the injury thing, and I totally get it, but I freaking love Michael Penix. I mean, just overall, he is hands down one of the best quarterbacks in this draft, just from a pure, like eye standpoint. Like, he fits the eye test very well. He's got, amazing arm strength. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks that I watched throughout the entire year. Genuinely just has like incredible arm strength, can get it where he needs to go. He doesn't throw a whole lot of interceptions. His average QBR this season was 157.1, which is freaking ridiculous. And just overall, I really do think that he's the best quarterback. If you can get past the injury thing, like, you know, like I feel like it's one of those like alcohol type things. You got to get past the smell, you know, but once you down it, it's going to be good, right? So that's what I mean. Like, just get past the injury thing and you'll be all right. I think Michael Penix is overall the best quarterback in this set of quarterbacks. I think a lot of teams are just scared because of the injury bug, rightfully so. But I have Caleb Williams pretty far down on my draft board just because I really think that he's overrated. I think he's a good quarterback. And I think if he gets put into a good system, I think he could be an above average or great quarterback. But there's way too many concerns that I have with Caleb Williams, and I don't love him. There's just something about him that really is just like not exciting for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll say this. I don't know how to feel. I do think Williams has, you know, potential to be probably the best guy in this draft. You know, at the quarterback position. I think my biggest concern, really, maybe some of the off-field things, but I'm worried more than where he may go, because obviously Chicago, if you're Chicago and you decide to go with that pick and they don't trade or somebody leapfrog him, I am so afraid of him going to Chicago, not for a Packers standpoint, because that's going to be great for us, but but for a Chicago Bears, I think you stick with the guy you have. If you're Chicago, you stick with the guy you have and continue to build. It's only year 4. Let him get him one more shot. I think he deserves at least one more shot. And you take this top pick, you get Marvin Harrison, or you get somebody else, another piece on the offensive side. You get somebody to build an offensive line. You got 2 picks in the top 10. Make that happen. That's what I think there. Drake May, I'm afraid, I really don't want to see him go to the Commanders. I don't want to see Caleb go to the Commanders because it's the hometown thing. The Commanders have had really bad runs with hometown guys. God rest Dwayne Haskins' soul. It didn't work out. Chase Young, it didn't work out, and he's within the last 10 years. And the number 2 picks haven't worked out for him. If you really want to go and take a look, you had RG3, that didn't work out. So I'm really concerned. I would even, if I'm watching, I would think about trading this pick. Maybe you go back down and you get Penix a little bit later and grab some more draft picks. You're loaded right now in the top 40. You got like 3 picks in the top 40. Why not continue to load up? And I think Adam Peters may be thinking about that. And a lot of people may not, because I really do think they may give Sam Howell one more shot. And I know a lot of people don't think that's popular, but who knows? Maybe with Cliff Kingsbury, things change. Here's 2 things I'm going to say with this last 30 seconds before we switch over here. One, I'm not a big Jaden Daniels fan because I'm worried about his body size. And I think RG3, I think those thin, small quarterbacks, I don't know if that works at the next level. And I think the best thing for Penix is to wait and hope that he gets picked by some stud team that's got a quarterback maybe on the way out or somebody he can learn from and take that year and then go from there. That's what I hope for him. And then he doesn't get stuck in a really bad place. That's what I got. That's what I got. But before we move on to put out the fire, anything else y'all want to say on the topic?
I'm safe.
I'll say
I'm safe, man.
I mean, if anything, just a random stat I remember looking at, I think in his career, Michael Penix has never lost a fumble.
It's crazy. That's a crazy stat.
Yeah,
man.
I'll give him that. I'll give him that. But like, it's just like, the knee injuries. Like I said, personally, I can't put myself past it. Mostly because I know what that feels like. I know what that recovery is to come back from that, and just to see what he's done is amazing. But I'll also say it's the same issue with him as far as Caleb Williams. You go from him going from the Big Ten to the Pac-12. Out of the Power 5 conferences, I don't think anyone's going to argue that the Pac-12 has been the weakest one over the last couple of years, and that's why it's about to die, because everyone's picking off the schools for the money. I mean, it is. It's just everyone's picking off their schools just to get money off their names and everything.
Right.
Because, USC and UCLA are going to Big Ten now. Everyone else is leaving. Washington's probably going to leave pretty soon.
Oregon either went to the Big 12 or something in that range. So it's like everybody just.
Oregon State, just the state of competition in the Pac-12 has been a shell of itself since probably Pete Carroll days in the Pac-12. So like him and Caleb Williams haven't had much to do.
Yeah, I think losing the Pac-12 is going to be the same equivalent to an extent to when we saw the Big East kind of get just destroyed in the early 2000s, and then the ACC came in and took all the pieces. And so I think we see something into that.
I think it's going to be worse.
You think it's going to be worse?
I think it's going to be worse because there's still remnants of the Big East with the American Athletic Conference with some of those old schools there. But I think like every school in the Pac-12 is going to go somewhere else, and Pac-12 is just going to die and go away.
It's insane. It's insane. And then just like a year or so ago, the Pac-12 and the ACC had just made an agreement, and now 3 of those teams are in the ACC. All right, it's time to put out the fire, ladies and gentlemen.
Fire, fire, burn on. Fire, 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 burn on. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
Right, so it is time to put out the fire. Usually I like to ask if anybody wants to go first. Nobody usually jumps to it, but I will ask, does anybody want to go first when we put out the fire? James looked like it. Joey looks like he's ready for it.
If Joey's ready, he can have it, but if not, I'll take it.
All right, Joey says he's going to take it. Joey, it's your turn to put out the fire, sir.
So I'm glad that Russ brought it up because I am tired of the Virginia Tech hate on the conference realignment. Because let me tell you, Virginia Tech is the 3rd highest grossing program in every single revenue stream in the ACC in every category. And everyone always talks about how it's going to be Florida State, then Clemson, and then they completely skip Virginia Tech and go to UVA in North Carolina. Honestly, I'm sick and tired of it because this is ridiculous. You can't tell me that the 3rd highest revenue gathering school isn't going to be picked up by one of the big conferences. Like you're just going to leave VT in the dust when you're just literally leaving money on the table at that point. Like, I don't necessarily want the ACC to break up, but if it does, you're going to tell me that Virginia Tech isn't the 3rd best option? I get we're not the first option. I get we're not the second option. But we are definitely the 3rd best option in this conference, especially, no offense, Darrell, especially over UVA. You're going to sit here and tell me that UVA makes more money than VT? No.
No, not at all. Not. Especially not in football. We've all been to a Tech. This group, we've all been to a Tech Virginia game, and we've all at UVA, and we've seen the impact that the Hokies bring to that game. And if that was vice versa, because I haven't had the privilege, and hopefully next year we all get the privilege to see Virginia Tech at Tech, and I promise you, there will be 95% Tech fans there compared to UVA fans. And that's not including myself that'll be on the sideline like, why is this happening?
Lane Stadium is awesome. I love Lane. But, yeah, every time that I watch one of those, conference realignment videos, everyone always skips past VT, goes to North Carolina, goes to UVA, goes to Miami. And, I even get it if you wanted to put, Miami 3rd, maybe. But if you look at every revenue stream that they put out, every ACC, I mean, they're not all public, but TV viewership on average, Virginia Tech is 3rd. Attendance percentage, Virginia Tech is actually, I believe, 2nd behind Florida State. And then just in general, Virginia Tech brings in more money than just about every single other school minus Florida State and Clemson. Miami's close, but Virginia Tech is still the more revenue there. So yeah, it annoys the crap out of me. And I'm glad that Russ brought up realignment. Cause that just bothers the crap out of me.
I will say, I'm going to tell you the only reason why I think Virginia even gets the consideration mostly is because they're quote unquote the Stanford of the East, but now you have Stanford in the conference. And then the other thing that I think the other sports, it ain't football, basketball. Okay. Yeah. That's going to be great if they go to the Big Ten or the SEC and you got Virginia there, but that's it. Cause I mean, football ain't it. And baseball will help. But after that, it's all of the other sports, the lacrosses, the soccer, swimming. The swimming team has won a national championship the last couple of years. So if you're looking from it from that perspective, yes. But I agree with Joey. The revenue is all in Tech. If you want the money, you got to go with Tech above Virginia. That's just me selfishly probably wanting Virginia to stay in the ACC as well. James, we head to you next, sir. It's time for you to put out the fire.
Yeah, to Joey's point, there's definitely gold out in the hills in Blacksburg. The people that know definitely do know. But for my put out the fire, I'm going to go back to our last segment and kind of talk about the weaknesses I think that each one of these quarterbacks have. Looking at the top guys in the class, I'll start with Caleb Williams. Again, I feel like a lot of his weakness is going to be some of the off the field things. I'm not too concerned about him crying on his mom's shoulder. Not too concerned about that. Fingernails, again, I don't love it, but again, I don't hate it. The whole one ownership thing, that's a bit far. That's a bit much. Unless you're going to Chicago, because then you're going to be out of the league in like another 3-4 seasons. So that ownership might come in handy. Outside of that, man, again, just the off the field stuff. Does he want to play football? Is he going to be fully committed to whoever drafts him? Is he going to be committed? Is he going to show up? Is he going to be ready to work? Going to be ready to play? Honestly, I'm going to go with quarterback number 2. And for me, my second quarterback is going to be Michael Penix Jr. Again, I know the injuries scare a lot of people off, but in my opinion, man, he's got the highest floor out of any of the quarterbacks in this draft class. And despite the injuries this season, he did beat Caleb Williams in USC. I believe that was that game at Washington or at USC. That game was at USC. It looks like they traveled to USC. They traveled to South California. They beat Caleb Williams and the Trojans in USC. They also beat Bo Nix and the Oregon Ducks twice. They beat them once at home, and then they also beat them in the Pac-12 championship game at home. So, again, that's another top quarterback in the class that he has a W over. He played a tough game in the college football semifinals against Texas and actually kept Washington in the game, ended up winning it for him. And then if he has full strength and all of his guys in the national championship game, perhaps it's a little different. He made some throws in that game. He made a lot of mistakes. But, again, for me, Penix is definitely quarterback number 2 in this class. You could argue he's QB number 1, depending on how much you love or hate Caleb Williams. Third, I'm going to go with Drake May. My one knock for May is coming from North Carolina. We haven't seen a lot of quarterbacks be successful there, and level of competition, I do believe, plays a little bit into that. He hasn't really played with a lot of the top guys on his team, and then also he hasn't played a lot of the top competition against the teams he's faced. The ACC, it's not the SEC. I don't even think it's the Big Ten at this point. The competition he's faced, it may not be there, and so how's that going to translate at the next level? So third, than the Pac-12, fourth. I mean, I don't know, man. I think the Pac-12 is honestly better than ACC football right now. If we're looking at the collective as a whole, especially this last couple seasons, the Pac-12's been better than the ACC. There's a reason that Stanford came over, but there's a reason they wanted Stanford. There's a reason they wanted Stanford. There's a reason they wanted Cal. It's not all just the smarts here. I think those players, those teams, they're legit. And I would be surprised if they come to the ACC and dominate.
If you're going off of program success, I agree with you. But if you're going off of actual recruits, I'm going to trust a kid from Georgia than a kid from California, if I'm being honest.
California produces more players than Georgia, though.
I trust a kid from Georgia where
you might see more of the California kids go to these bigger schools. They may not stay in California because of NIL, but California produces way more players than Georgia does.
Oh, the NIL is going to screw everything up.
It's going to screw everything up.
Then what? Drake May was third. Fourth, I got Jaden Daniels. My only knock against Daniels is the slight frame. I think it's like, 210 pounds at 6'4". So how's that body going to hold up at the next level? Is he going to be able to take the hits? Is he going to be able to evade the rush? We saw him light it up this year, win the Heisman with both his arm and his leg. We don't know if that's going to translate to the next level because everybody's fast at the NFL level. Is he going to be able to outrun everybody? I don't know. Can he take the hits? I don't know. We'll have to see how the body holds up. After Daniels, I'd go with Nix. Again, my only knock with Bo Nix, he's a good to great player, but that's about it. I don't really see anything super special with him. I don't really see anything that's going to be like that top 10 quarterback. I think he's going to be an average, middle-of-the-pack quarterback at best, unless he's in a system like Purdy, where he's just got weapons galore around him, and then he feeds off of that.
Chris Wiki.
Right. If he has a system, the talent, the guys around him, he'll be successful. He'll be great. But if you're dependent on him to do it for you, I just don't see it. And then the last guy in the class, J.J. McCarthy, the reigning champ from Michigan.
I forgot he was in the class. I forgot he was in the
that kind of
class.
says it right there.
I forgot he was there.
JJ's just not there yet. I feel like whoever does draft him, sit him for a year, maybe 2. I mean, physically, does he have some of the talents? Yes. Again, he's also another quarterback that's slight of frame, but also, man, we've seen at times where Michigan was able to take over the game with the run game. It was times they told him, hey, kid, take a back seat. Either you're not hitting it today or you just don't have it. Against Penn State when Harbaugh was suspended, they literally took the game over on the ground game. They just told him, hey, look, just hand it off. They treated him like Garoppolo a couple years ago in the NFC Championship game where he threw like 10 times. Like, bro, just hand it off the corner because you're actually hurting us right now than you're helping us. Hand it off. Let's go win this game.
He might be the backup in Los Angeles for the Chargers. That's as far as I see it going.
And that's not a bad start.
And that's not a bad start. Keep learning from the man that got you there. All right, we're gonna finish this up. Russ, put out the fire, sir.
Ooh. Yeah, I had a tough time thinking what I was going to say here. But I will say, without a doubt, we are heading into quite possibly the second best time of the year as far as sports goes. There's a lot of things to look out forward to, even within the next week or within the next month, really, to just be excited for. The Combine is next week, y'all. I don't know if y'all realize that. The NFL Combine is next week.
It's Monday.
It crept up real quick.
I'm about to say it crept up real quick. And even like tomorrow starts the first game of spring training. Baseball is back too. I'm excited about baseball.
Let's go.
I can't wait. Like
Let's go.
I'm hoping to God this 1 year rental of Juan Soto. Please, baby Jesus, let this work out.
I mean, I would have took Soto in a heartbeat. I
need this.
I pray.
And the fact that we're like in deep talks to getting Blake Snell right now to add another 2-time Cy Young lefty to our staff. I am hoping
Blake Snell needs to go to the Cubs.
I thought
take Jordan Montgomery as a consolation prize. Take him.
I'll take both. Can I have both?
Look, man.
No, we're the Yankees. We spend money. The Dodgers are trying to take our title of spending money to win the title. I don't like that. That's our history.
I don't like that. That's our history.
That's our history. The Dodgers trying to copy our style, trying to bite our thing. I don't like that.
I like it.
But like, I am so excited just for the next month of sports. And the other thing that we got going on at the beginning of March too. I don't know if we can say that out loud yet, boss.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Say it.
Oh yeah, we'll be at the women's Atlantic 10 conference tournament in Henrico. Cover that every single day.
Let go.
I'm excited for that. I took vacation for that. And just like baseball coming up, Yankees looking good, looking healthy. Of course, that's my team, but just baseball in general. I am so unbelievably excited for the next month of sports. Combine is my favorite thing of football of the year. I don't care about that. I care more about it than the Super Bowl and the playoffs and all that rolled into one. Combine is the best time of the year for an NFL fan, in my opinion.
Study in time, baby. Study in time.
I mean, that's why he's a stat man, though. That's why he's a stat
man. I still remember being amazed and watching in my kitchen TV from Aaron Donald's Combine workout. And I was like, that's going to be one of the greatest players of all time. And I love the Combine. I absolutely love it.
Combine's coming. We got a busy couple of weeks here on the network. You'll see we've got 2 people heading down to the ACC women's tournament. We got 2 people heading to the women's tournament. We got 4 people heading to the ACC men's tournament. We've got 5 of us heading to the Atlantic 10 women's tournament. And we potentially have some people going to the Atlantic 10 men's tournament. So it's going to be busy those first 3 weeks and even the Final Four, but we're waiting on that. That one's still in the wings, but a lot of good things happening here on the network. And it's thanks to a lot of these great people that are in this room with me right now. And I appreciate all the hard work that they do and everybody on this network does as we continue to try to grow every single day to make the dream work. Now, before we get out of here, tomorrow, we got, so the gold standard of wrestling, Joey, go, give him a quick plug on what's happening tomorrow, and then we're out of here.
Yeah, man. The next episode of Sportsbology is out, and your man's D.O. made an appearance. And it was hands down some of the most fun we've had in a really long time. I was laughing so hard, literal tears were coming out of my eyeballs. It was such a great time. That should be out tomorrow. It should go up on the Sportsbology YouTube page at some point tonight. We just finished the edits like an hour before I got on here. So I believe we're uploading it literally as we're speaking. And it's going to be awesome. It'll be a good show. Definitely check it out.
Awesome. Thank you, Joey. Appreciate you. James, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Hey, man, appreciate it. Shout out to everybody out there watching, tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out all the great stuff we got here at the Legacy Maker Sports Network.
All right, Russ, anything you want to say before we go, brother?
I hate to end it on a bad note, but I don't think we talked about it. Shouts out, prayers up for those people involved in the Kansas City shooting after the Super Bowl parade. As much as you want to say is we evolve as human beings, there's still stupid people out there that do stupid things, and
dum-de-dum-dums.
There's nothing we can really do about it sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with Russ on that, man. Shout out to, and prayers to everybody out there. And shout out to the gentleman that hopped on the situation. I mean, you've seen this video. Those guys were not playing around. They stopped them immediately and stopped more carnage from happening. And why can't we just go outside and have fun? Why can't we go outside and have fun at an event? It's an absolute shame, ladies and gentlemen. But look, to end on a good note, go ahead, Russ.
I will say, if we're going to end it on a positive note, Dak Prescott has 0 championship appearances. Taylor Swift has 1.
That's crazy.
I think that's all that says
her
right
first
here.
year in the league, too.
That's it, y'all. Legacy on
She's
Fire.
She's got more conference championship appearances, more Super Bowl appearances, and all that good stuff.
We'll be back next week for episode 61. I'm Darrell Owens, Joey Raymond, James Brown, Russ Taliaferro, the Stat Man. We'll see you all next week.